What's up, everybody? This is going to be a video, kind of almost like doing a review, a little bit of a showcase of my current character roster, what their stats are like now, so that when I look back on this in the future, I can get a little gauge of how much better some of these characters have gotten. I'll just quickly show you my weapons. My 5 stars aren't all that great, and I've got a good selection of 4 stars. Like I'm still waiting on a Favonius sword. They're a really good 4-star weapon, and I have all of the others aside from the sword. So one day, hopefully, I'll pick that one up. And I have got a few things that I'm going to be able to merge into another, but I've just not gotten around to doing that yet because a lot of those weapons I don't really use, and some of the ones that I do, I would kind of rather have multiple of than just one really good one. Looking at Nilu, she's obviously got her best in slot, but aside from that, everybody else is just kind of, you know, I'm not necessarily free to play because I get things like the battle pass and stuff like that, but I don't spend money on this game, so I don't have a whole massive selection of stuff. I've been playing for just shy of a year now. Started last year in May, and I'm really happy with the progress I've made. I've pretty much done all of the story. I've still got some character stories to do, but when it comes to my characters, I'm really happy with all the ones that I've managed to get. Kazuha being one of my favourites and one of my first ones that I got. And yeah, unfortunately though, I am a Diluc main, and I have not got Diluc. This is an issue. We're still waiting, and when that day comes, your boy's gonna be super stoked. Even though, as a character, Diluc's pretty trash, but never mind. So, going on to my characters, I'm really going to be super quick about this. Aika I got recently, awesome 4-star weapon for her. Her stats are bursts, pretty good crits, and decent ER. And her artifacts are these. I honestly don't have the best artifact selections. I'm just not that lucky, unfortunately. But, you know, her ones aren't honestly too bad. Shenhe just got a decent amount of ER on her and a really good amount of attack. Really glad I could find a use for this weapon, because I was pretty annoyed when I lost a 50-50 to it. Got her on a Noblesse set again. You know, I mean, she's even got a purple artifact, so you can see that I haven't got the best pieces in the world, but they're good enough to get the job done, especially on a character like Shenhe, where she's not a DPS, so it's not as important. My Kazuha is pretty nice. I've got all that elemental mastery on him, which is super important. All the other stats aren't that great, but that's okay. And yeah, we've got him on this sword, kind of matches his aesthetic a little bit more than the Iron Sting, which is pretty much the only reason I'm using it instead. And his artifacts are also, he's honestly got some terrible artifacts, but for this character, because his reactions are all based around elemental mastery, really having any of the other stats is just a bonus. As long as you've got a really high elemental mastery stat, you're Gucci. So yeah, that's what I tell myself anyway. A similar thing with Raiden Shogun, where energy recharge is a stat that she scales on. So, you know, not having the others, it's It hurts a little bit more with her, but again, we've got it where it really counts for her. I need to get this weapon up to R5, but I just can't be bothered. And this artifact domain is not a fan of me, but that's okay, because we persevere. We just keep on going. We keep on going. One day, we'll get the ones we want. But yeah, until then, it is what it is. My Kaching is pretty bad. She's not that great. But honestly, other than the fact that she's got an R5 Lion's Roar, honestly, you know, I got her maybe 3 months into playing the game, and I really enjoyed using her. But then as I got better characters, I just needed to use her less. And because of that, I've not really given her much effort and made her much better from when I initially started playing her. Which is why her artifacts aren't too crazy. So, we've got the man himself here, Dendro Daddy, Al Haytham. This guy is honestly one of my better built characters.
Wait.
Pretty decent crit value there. Black Sword isn't a bad option for him as well. I actually really like it on him. I think it works absolutely fine. And the only downside to him is that I've got him on a 4-piece Deepwood set. This is the artifact set along the side in the green writing. Normally, he uses what is called a Gilded Dreams set, just to give him extra damage. And one day I would like to get him on that. But I've just not been lucky enough to get the right pieces for him. And yeah, I could do it, but it just wouldn't be as good as what I've got him on now. So we leave him on the Deepwood for now. And usually when I build a team, I build around that idea of he is the Deepwood user on that team. So I don't need to either bring another Dendro user, or I can have them on something else. My Nahida is one of my best units as well, and that's mainly just because she's pretty cracked. She's really, really strong. Got a sack frag on her. Her artifacts are, again, it's a little bit like of a Kazuha thing, where you kind of just want EM, but she honestly has got some relatively okay crit values as well, just because I've ran that artifact domain so much. So yeah, she's not great, but she could be, well, she is pretty great. My Nilu is another character that I've invested a fair bit into. You probably wouldn't look at it, you probably wouldn't think it looking at her stats, but then if you look at her max HP, which is where a lot of her stats scale from, you can see that it's pretty up there. It's pretty high. Helped massively by her sword. Her artifacts, they're okay. Could be a hell of a lot better though, and I do intend to actually do it at some point and really try and make her as good as I can. But the reason why I haven't is because she's so strong anyway. It's crazy. Nilu, I would say Nilu and Al Haytham were, and arguably Kazuha, to be honest, but I think my account was so early on at that time that I didn't really feel it. But I really do think that for clearing the harder content of the game, the Spiral Abyss, me, when I got Nilu and when I got Al Haytham, they were the 2 points that really made me feel like I've took a step forward with these characters. Zhongli is not very well built at all, but he's he's built with the mindset that he can put up a really strong shield, and that's all he does. My Wanderer is pretty good. I'm actually looking at changing his artifact set to Shiranau's. Let me see if I can find it. Shimanau's Reminiscence. I'd like a 4-piece of that, and I'm kind of on the way. I've got some okay pieces, but I was rolling them yesterday and they just didn't want to roll into anything that looked remotely good. So we will see how long that'll take, but hopefully we'll get that relatively soon. I do enjoy the Wanderer. I like his playstyle, and I think that from gameplay that I've seen of someone using him with that artifact set, I think that will actually make me enjoy him a lot more, because currently he just feels a little bit missing on the damage side of things. Jean and Mona, they're not really built at all. I've kind of built my Mona enough with some ER so she can do the job, but other than that, she's nothing too crazy. All of my 5 stars are all C0, by the way. I got my Sucrose to C6 recently, and I need to build her. I usually just swap her artifacts with Kazuha, because she's a very similar unit to him. But I would like to get her own set, so I could use them both at the same time. Yugi is another one of those characters where, it's not too important to, get massive crit stats on her and things like that. Really, she just wants elemental mastery, and that's kind of it. So that's all I've done with her. And yeah, I can see her just gradually getting better over time. My official is not that great. I think I've picked her apart a little bit over the last few months to make other characters. And that's quite similar really for a lot of my 4 stars, to be honest. Yao Yao's okay. I've got her on an elemental mastery build for my Nilou team, so that if she triggers the cause when I've got her on field with Xingqiu's burst, she will still deal a decent amount of damage as well. My Xingqiu, again, isn't all that great, but he does the job. And he's got a decent amount of ER to go with the set bonus from Emblem of Severed Fate. So, he still pumps and he still does some really nice damage. Similar thing for my Bennett. I've got plenty of ER on him so that he can battery the units, and that's all you kind of really need him for. As long as he can get down his burst and he's got a good base attack weapon like this, you're pretty much good to go. And my Zhangling is not looking good at all, because I took her apart loads. Basically, I need to spend some time on Zhangling and really build her up to the awesome unit that she can be, because she can actually last. And yeah, I've got those guys at C3 and Yao Yao and Zhangling both at C1. I've got Razor and Hazo built. They were just more for my initial playthrough, and I'm a big fan of Hazo, but not really used him much lately. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to fly through all these constellations just so I can look back and see where I was at with some of them, and where I'm going to hopefully get some improvements on them later. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to kind of try and keep it as short as I can, and even then, it still felt like it's gone on for way too long. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on it, to be honest. So yeah, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.